Hey, everybody at home. This is the energy I'm bringing today. I'm really tired,
Okay.
but I'm still happy to have you. I'm still thrilled.
Wake
We're
up.
diving into another epic actual play of Progenitors Bloodlines. So grab your dice and settle in. Today we're going to be playing with Simon, Peter, and Diana, who are going to introduce themselves in that order, their characters, and give us a fact of the day. I'm narrating this like it's a Save the Bees episode because of an off-stream inside joke that just happened.
Should I add the ASMR tag to the stream?
just
Are we all just going to be speaking very quietly this episode?
Pickles.
I don't know if I have the right microphone for this.
No, you don't.
Right.
Just stay quiet.
Also, as soon as Maylin gets on screen, I'm breaking character. It's gonna be loud.
That's very fair.
Starts
all right, so in that case, I'll begin. With Wilm, I am playing Wilm Fair, and he's had to relearn a lot of things because they were living in, I guess you would kind of say, like a modern society, in buildings, in cities, initially, and then for lack of a better term, apocalypse happened, and they were like thrust however many years, or maybe even, we don't know how much time has passed technically, into this forest island, and he's not really had much experience living in the wild and off the land. So it's been kind of a rude awakening to him, and he's had to relearn a lot of things, like basic things like going to the bathroom, finding food, getting shelter, things like that. So it was tough for the first little while, but he's slowly. I think it's been a year now, and he's gotten more used to it. But definitely was eye-opening at the beginning to have to really to go through all that and learn it all. He was not a camper.
And he still might not be. What's currently the toughest thing for Wilm in the wild?
Like even after the full year?
Yeah.
He misses his newspapers, man. He wants to know what's happening in like the rest of the world. But like the last thing that he's learned is from Bart, learning about the white flame and everything. So like he's itching for some of that like world news and like, what's happening with the rest of this place.
Well, and I think you've heard a few little tidbits of like, yeah, we have a civilization, a city going on.
Exactly.
There's other stuff out there. I do have to say, I've never been more pleased to hear something as a DM, because one of the tropes that I kind of wanted to get at with the progenitor stuff is kind of like that isekai trope of you lived in modernity and then you get almost like transported to another world, even though, obviously there's the lore of the hex world, and you're starting from scratch, so you guys can just invent stuff like the newspaper and bring it over here. Incredible.
Yeah, we need to start like the Daily Wilm or something. The Daily Phoenix.
Sounds kind of good though. The Daily Wilm.
But the thing is that more like Otto's purview, because he's about like stories and bringing like things to the masses?
Maybe eventually that does fit his. It does fit Otto, but I feel like he's shaping up to be more of like a cult leader.
Yeah, questionable.
a little more like religious overlord. I don't know. It's a little shady.
I hate to make this comparison, but yeah, if you're getting your news from Otto, maybe it's Fox News. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's Spider News.
Spider News, yeah.
The Daily Bugle.
Am I next? Is that?
No, I think it's you.
Tomas.
It's you now.
Tomas. I guess it's like a bit of a quick fact. Tomas has a tail now, in case anybody didn't know. And I think even on the short little, well, I guess it is pretty short. The trip back home, it became like pretty apparent that when Tomas isn't like consciously thinking about the tail, and if the drill hound is inside of him, it just like takes on sort of the personality of the drill hound. So it's like a dog tail basically. And so like something excites the drill hound near Tomas and he'll start wagging the tail, and Tomas just like will be unaware of it. So
Hell yes. I
And-
didn't even think of what that would mean for the drill hound.
yeah,
And this is the tail with the hand, right?
the tail with the hand, yeah.
Gotcha.
Oh
Just
my.
like slapping. You know when dogs like they like wag their tail so hard, but there's a freaking fist at the end of it.
This is actually slapping her.
So, yeah.
Can I? We so it's a tail with a hand.
Mhm.
Is it like in my head? Okay, so
Yeah, tell me.
this
Is
is
it
what in my head.
shoulder on or like elbow on? Like where?
I didn't want to think about it too much.
We didn't want to think about it too much. So like when we said tail with a hand, I think there was a lot of stuff going on, and then we had to keep going on because a lot of stuff was happening that session. Does the hand is it like a hairy hand? Because like if it's just like a naked skin tail with a hand at the end, it's all skin. It's very intense.
Yeah. I think what we had sort of said last session, that it was kind of like I don't remember the guy's name from My Hero Academia with the thick, fleshy tail.
Yeah, but he has a tuft of
Mhm.
fur at
Or
the
It
end.
does have a
end of
tuft, but
it,
instead
yeah.
of the tuft, it's just a hand.
It's the hand.
It can be hairy, like I don't know, like as much as like a a big dude's
As
like hairy
Tomas's arm
is.
would have been.
Yeah, but I think Tomas is hairless for the most part.
Oh, okay. Well,
Oh yeah, I guess you are kind of hairless.
Yeah, he's yeah.
well,
So
then it would be maybe weirder if there was a lot of hair on that arm.
Can it be like an eldritch like it doesn't look like there's a hand, like it's one thing, but every so often, like if you spread the fingers, like you can almost see the hand
interesting.
through the skin.
Yeah,
Ooh.
that's fine.
Ooh.
It's
But
like
then
web.
you can't grasp anything.
Well, you
Extra
can't.
Still
fleshy.
can't, yeah. I'm fine with that. Yeah.
Okay, cool. If it's web, that means it'll help you swimming for sure.
Yo.
Ooh.
Yeah,
that's
but when
fair.
it's just like limp, I guess it's like pointed, almost like the fingers are all sort of bunched up.
So
I'm glad. Yeah, you know what? Actually, we needed to talk about this. This is good.
We needed this.
If I
I
need
need
to
to
draw
know
it, I
exactly
need
how
to
this
know what it looks like.
yeah,
All right.
incredible.
So that makes it my turn. I am D, playing QT, aka Quintini, aka your colorful intergalactic angel. And my tip of the day is she used to have a gun. She used to have a gun. The gun, what it was a pistol that could bubble creatures, like entrap them in a bubble, and that way they could be studied with a D-pad more easily. So it would kind of like constrict the creature in a bubble. But that gun was actually left behind on the Seraph station before the time skip. So that now resolves the gun issue. There was a gun, but there's no longer a gun. Unless so that's my tip of the day.
Okay, so I'm gonna write there was a gun.
There was a gun.
There could be a gun.
There was a gun, and there could be a gun again. That is an incredible.
Yeah. Just as like a world building tool, like I don't know, even in someone else's campaign, like somebody finds just this gun. It's just some like legendary magic weapon that they found. This bubble gun.
Just the bubble gun.
Yeah, that's just a really high dex save because you have to literally move out of the way so fast.
Mm-hmm.
This also reminds me of it's like Steven Universe in some way, where you bubble people.
Yeah.
Yep. It's not very
Oh
good.
my god! And the gun has a storage, and then they get stored in there. Yeah.
Wait, it's
That would be amazing. Yeah, it's a Pokedex.
Wait, who do you still have in there from the last time you used it?
Oh. That's pretty fun.
Oh my god, yeah. You just get the gun again and open it up and somebody pops out. Wow.
And if you do want to have a name for the gun, it is just called Bubbles. She didn't go any further than that.
It's called Bubbles.
Mhm.
Written in cursive script on the side.
Exactly.
In freaking incredible. If you're new here, make sure you say hi in the chat, hit the follow button, and you can find more of our content over on YouTube at the Hexagon TTRPG and a few other social channels. Without further ado, let's get the game started today. Wow, so much has happened recently. I'm gonna go through here. So 2 sessions ago when we sat down, you guys met up with Bart at Valeth as you were setting out on the dragon hunt. You encountered the Bloom. You encountered the voice of Valeth, who has been dubbed Mini V. And Mini V was busy kind of taking care of the heart of the forest, and the new Bloom, basically the new wave of growth as the tree caretaker of this magical forest of Fae begins to regain its strength and put out new sprouts and really invigorate the area. You received a little bit of info about basically some Mogwai energy from across the sea, and maybe a strengthening of that demonic energy, of that underworlder energy going on. Mini V also brought up the evil book again, and said that energy is much closer across the mountain ranges to the west. But nothing you can do about it right now. You guys set out to go fight the dragon. You fought the dragon, and you beat the dragon. I think rather soundly, the dragon put up a fairly good fight, but through the perseverance of everyone and one last drop kick from Mei Lin, you were able to get that dragon down for the count. My top note for the session after that is Tomas grows a tail arm. Was that during the dragon fight or was that during the mantis fight?
The mantis fight.
Yeah,
right.
it was right before, like when we were trying to lift. Or wait, no, we were getting crushed under the weight of the dragon, and then I popped the potion to get us out.
You saved me. I was stuck in there too.
Incredible. I'm just adding a little note there. So you grew that extra arm, rolled the dragon over, pulled out your spear, which is nice and clean now. But you guys did draw the attention with all the commotion of the fight from a couple of voidling mantis that were in the area. They came up on you guys, stealthed, jumped into the fray and attacked, but there was a little bit of scouting from Wilm that saved you from one of the stealth attacks. And pulling everyone's resources, all of the NPCs basically using up all of the stamina that they had. Everyone worked together to take them down. That being said, you guys focused on loot from the dragons specifically, since that was what you were here for. A lot of scales and claws and teeth and bones were taken, and what was left behind was basically a bunch of meat and some scales that were not so useful. The heart of the dragon was of special interest, and it was basically like it's like a roped crystal, kind of like looks like, I think it would look like if a brain a little bit was made of crystal, but instead of having two hemispheres, it was only one, and it was completely spherical, if that makes sense. So it's like a very organic looking crystal. The rest of the dragon carcass, I will remind you, has been given to the Spider Queen as payment for this year's kind of like food harvest, which actually frees up quite a bit of resources from your like hunter-gatherer teams in terms of feeding the spiders per your agreement. And you guys headed back through the Bloom collected some very interesting plants that you think might make your time at camp a little bit better. And I believe that we end last time, I think, getting to camp.
Yes.
Yeah, we had left Valeth with the extra herbs and plants they had given us to like graft onto our own, and so we got back to camp with our very over loaded spiders.
I also wanted to add, we also munched dragon meat. We did it. We
yes.
tasted it. And the reason why Maylene was able to do such cool moves is because of the D-pad she's been hiding from under my nose.
Yes, that was a big reveal.
That gives her karate moves.
Yo.
I know kung fu.
Like, excuse?
That's right. Yes, sorry. Thank you for reminding me that I've revealed that Maylin has a D-pad, and she knows kung fu. So we'll pick up on this session. I think that the travel home is it wasn't actually that far, right? It's maybe half a day. So you guys spent the morning over at the camp. You had, basically cleaned up, gotten everything ready, started coming over. Maybe it took a little bit of extra time, I'll say, for the journey because the spiders are, quite burdened. So by the time you're arriving, it's like late afternoon, maybe 5 p.m. ish, 4 or 5 p.m. It's later in the day. The sun has moved. And you guys aren't too tired. I would say, like, yeah, you've been traveling for most of the day, but really it's just been kind of like slow going, making sure that stuff, what do you call it when you put a little bit of wood and like a tarp together to put some stuff on and drag it? It'd be like a
makeshift sledge.
Yeah, it's kind of like a sled. I was thinking like when you like would put a person on it and then drag them, but I guess it's just like a sled.
Like a stretcher?
Yeah, it's kind of like a stretcher, but for your loot. So making sure the stretcher doesn't like get caught on anything. So you guys make your way to camp. You have all your stuff with you, and I think that as soon as you get there, it starts to get busy. It is bustling, people coming around. You see that a bunch of the underseers come to see Overseer Quinn, and she's got these plants nearby, and they're like, "Oh, like what does it do?" And they're asking all these questions. And Quinn, I think you had some instructions from the Dryad on how to take care of these things. So you start to give that out.
Yes.
And tell people what to do, how we're going to start propagating these plants, and make life better. I think you guys reminded me on stream that there's like a lamp plant, there's a healing, like good for healing potion plant. It's kind of like a weed almost, so like it grows really well. And there's also a toilet plant
and some glowing mosses as well.
So some basic necessities for this budding civilization that does not have plumbing, does not have electricity, and it's tough to use fire for every single little thing in the forest. So you can see immediately a lot of buzz surrounding that, a lot of excitement. You can see that the Decafouts come over, so interested in the dragon meat. They're all taking a look here. Some Ottomans are here too, taking a look at the materials, just talking amongst themselves. You see the weavers come out, and then their robes, their hands in their tucked
Sleeves
together as they walk forward, and then they're handling things and holding it up to the fabric of the the spider silks. And yeah, I think everybody is getting in on this. The Phoenicians, you can see, because it's the afternoon, are basically like finishing their daily like guard shifts and stuff like that. Some of them have come in back to camp, and I think they're doing a lot of the work of like, okay, well, let's organize a space over here. This is where we're going to keep the materials. This is how we're going to start storing stuff. And then someone's like, oh, I guess we'll need like a shed, store all these things, and they start divvying up some of that labor. Otto is here as well as soon as you arrive. open arms, makes a big show, patting each of you on the shoulder and congratulating you on the successful hunt.
Yeah, I embarrass him in front of all of his followers by giving him a big hug.
Oh,
You give him that big hug, and he flails a little, but you can see he's starting to get a little bit used to it, and he kind of goes in and pats her back, and maintains a very practiced smile. And yeah, I think the progenitors are fully victorious, successful. And is there anything that you guys want to do right now? Because I think that there's quite a bit to like organize, I think, in the moment of like what exactly are we going to do with these materials in the short term. But I am pretty much ready to, like, if we want to start moving into the fast time, we can start going like, okay, well, what do we want to do with this stuff over, a much longer period? There's also the
did have a
voidling.
couple things.
Okay.
So Wilm had a few of his people with that he had found with like blacksmithing backgrounds, kind of working with the plastisteel, seeing like what they could do with it, and like if they can get like fire hot enough to actually start doing anything about it. And he's been traveling a lot with Bart recently, so him and Bart had that kind of mixing of magics, kind of creating that very hyper focused, almost like laser beam.
Mm-hmm.
Since then, he's been able to kind of try and like kind of almost develop it himself, to do it himself. So he's going to go over to the blacksmiths and see if that itself, like that, can potentially cut and mold the whatchamacallit, the plastisteel. Because I want to try and use the ability that I learned in Tier 2.
Woo! Second tier 2.
Ooh, okay.
Mm-hmm. So it's called Cutting Light. And I emit a thin beam of energized light from my hand, and it's even more effective against immobile, non-living targets, slicing any material that is level 6 or lower.
I mean, hey, the rules are the rules. If it says it can slice any material, I gotta let you do it. So I think you try this, and it just works, right? So tell us what it looks like as Wilm creates a literal laser beam to cut this.
So initially, how it had occurred was again a combination of Bart's heat kind of transfer and Wilm's flame. So kind of Bart concentrating the flame into the thinnest and most concentrated of points to make it that kind of like white hot flame. And so based like running off that idea, Wilm tried to do it himself and tried to concentrate the flame and kind of just refine and refine and refine until it was something not large and all-consuming, but very fine and precise. And so as he kind of brings this like this large flame, and you just see the flame kind of as it's sputtering and like kind of like just flickering, it kind of starts, the flickering stops, and it kind of starts glowing like a hotter and hotter orange ember as it shrinks into this very fine point, and kind of like a very thin, like small bead of just like pure flame, almost like magma-esque in its color. And then it kind of like just shoots this beam out that he's using to carve through the plastisteel.
Okay. What is the range on this ability? Is
It's
it
an
like
immediate range.
an immediate range. Yeah.
Yeah. So he has to be close enough to do it, but again, it's blacksmithing. It's like he wasn't going to be doing it from like a distance or anything. It's literally there. He wants that fine precision to be able to go and mold and like take apart this material.
Yeah. Incredible. So yeah, so you do that and it elongates and it's propulsed from you. This is like a from your hand kind of thing.
Yeah, like in this case, it'd be kind of like it'd be better to do it from the hand to get that control that he would want.
Right, perfect. And so you start putting your hand, almost maybe like fine tuning with your
Like,
fingers a little
yeah.
bit. Yeah, getting in there, and you start to cut through the plasticele. I'm going to say that it's a very durable material, so it's it takes a kind of a second to as you start getting the intensity
press
right of the beam
through and then cut down. It might be a
Yeah.
slow process, but he's kind of like explaining the feeling of how he's compressing the magic and how he's using it and like to the people around, because the blacksmiths themselves have that kind of same propensity for fire. That
Yes.
so he's trying to explain to kind of like get an idea to that, give the idea to them to be able to see if they could potentially maybe not emulate exactly, but enough of a copy to be able to actually use this material and potentially the other materials like the scales, the claws, and the teeth of the dragon to start kind of like really getting to this like blacksmithing air.
So I'll give you an asset on this roll because you're experiencing it and explaining it. Like you have this ability and you're trying to show it off to them. But give me an intellect roll, and we're going to see if you become aware of something in this moment as you're explaining this.
Okay.
To others.
This feels relatively important, so I'm going to put an effort into it.
Okay.
Okay, so that is a 15.
Okay. So 15 plus this, an asset of being able to demonstrate this, properly and consistently. With, I think you take this moment as you go aside with them and you start explaining stuff and going through this, and you're studying your followers, seeing did they get this information right? Are they able to absorb what you're basically gifting them? You're gifting them fire in this moment, and on that roll, that it not only is this hard for them to grasp, but that the level of firepower that you are able to produce seems beyond them. And I think that you start to maybe a little bit in your head create this like internal hierarchy of, okay, well, Johnny was really strong, right? Like when you brought him along on that fight, well, maybe not really strong. He didn't do that much. But in terms of like some of the magical energy that he can bring to bear, he's exceptional amongst your followers.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you can start to see like how exceptional that makes you, right? By comparison. And so the amount of energy that you're able to harness, basically, like at a moment's notice, in this case, where you're able to cut through the plasticele, you can use like I would say on that roll, like you can even hear what like a couple of them like talking about how they've tried to like create a kiln, basically a very rudimentary kiln of like concentrate the heat and burn a fire for X amount of hours, and they could come nowhere close to this. Even pooling magical energy from a few 2-3 individuals, they couldn't get the amount of firepower that you're casually displaying here. And so while you think that they're taking the theory and they're like, okay, well, this makes sense, they're either going to need like magical gear or they're going to need some sort of like magical studies in terms of like combining the power of like many people together to try to achieve what you're able to do.
Okay.
But it started giving them ideas, started getting them to kind of like, okay, well, this is what we need to get there.
In that case, Will's going to kind of, I guess, take out the energy whip that he'd been keeping from the armored suit from before, and see if they could potentially like start, what should we call it? Kind of researching that, like, I guess, ancient magic, quote unquote. like technology, to see if potentially some use of that might be able to refine the magic power here into something a bit more usable or potentially a bit more powerful to get to then cutting the plastisteel and getting things out. But he's also taken note that maybe it's time to also try and find other types of ore, not just this plastisteel, but like things that are like iron and copper and like things that might be a bit more malleable to lower temperatures.
Okay. On the same roll of the intellect roll, what I'll say is that you give them this whip, and they're immediately like out of their depth.
Yeah.
But they're gonna they take it.
Exactly.
They start looking at it. I think like one of your lead engineers. You'd given me a name, right?
Engineers, I don't think so. I had a blacksmith. One of the blacksmiths is Finley, and then Aussie's for like the more magical arcane research. But if they also feel if need be, I know the overseers have, or I guess rather, or underseers have some interest in magical items and ciphers. So if they have any knowledge that might be useful from their own repertoires, you can consult with them as well. But I feel like this might be a step in the right direction into getting things prepared for the next era.
Yeah. I of course will get on it, and we'll parlay with the underseers. I think you even like it with your blacksmiths like here. You see an underseer like mixed in with the crowd here. Like there's
Peek
already
over and like, "Ooh, what's that?"
Yeah, there's already a little bit of like mixing of departments. I think there's an overlap between those two crowds just naturally.
I'm just gonna tell them I don't think you'll have any trouble getting some interested parties to come and help you out. They're all too eager to work with this type of technology.
They're not the only ones. I think we're eager as well. A little burly, strong-looking person who's able to manipulate material. He does kind of take you aside, and he goes, "So the plastisteel, we have been able to tell a little bit about it. We've been looking at it as you requested. To mold it, we would need a lesser heat than your beam, I think. Something that is able to make it softer. But it would take a long time, as far as I'm aware, to get it to transform into a different shape. The chunks of it seem to have been in a very hot environment for a long time, where they basically melted down onto each other into sort of like pools almost, or goopy formations that then solidified. But the material itself has a strange layering. The little bits that we've been able to get off of it, they kind of come apart into a bunch of different kind of pieces that react a little bit differently to fire. That's the main way we've been able to test stuff. So that seems like it'll be a very difficult type of material to work with overall.
Well, in that case, I suggest that while we keep this on the side and continue doing a little bit of research, we put our main focus in materials that we can forge and meld and mold. So if we can find ores that are a bit more malleable to our manipulations.
Yes, agreed. So we will do so.
Let me know if you need anything, and I'll do my best to try and get it for you.
If you can send us some more, that would be great. Chuckles.
Well, I'll try and find you some more ore.
Right, and he takes that that whip, and they bring it over to their makeshift workshop.
And I kind of like bundle in some scales and some claws and teeth as well, just to kind of, again, these are the materials. And to Ozzy, my my arcane unit, I'm going to show them the heart of the dragon,
All right.
as well as like a few of like the magical herbs that I'd had from Valeth. Just to say, like, these are two of the most arcane infused, I guess, objects we've found, or at least I found in
Well,
our
I'll say
year
as
here.
you start to walk towards to Ozzy, you know, where the magical unit would be. Basically not like a formal unit. It's kind of like loosely. They probably like
Yeah.
stay closer together, and you know that neck of the Phoenicians woods. Otto is actually going to appear out of the shadows, and stop you with a quick motion of his hand, and he says, "I should like to see that spherical crystal that you've brought."
Of course. Come with me. I'm showing it to my team. They've been trying to. Well, there's weird magic to this place, as I'm sure you've noticed. They've been trying to delve a bit more into it, and I feel like this would be something that they would be able to use in their research. So, come along. We'll talk to them together.
You mistake me. I think that I might be able to use it, actually, given it a little bit of time to study it on my own.
Right, but I do believe this should be something that is shared.
Yes, of course.
So, would you be able to say what the use is that you'd be able to have of this crystal, gem, heart, whatever?
I can, and he like raises his hand. You can see like there's like some hairs standing on end almost. His an electrical type of aura where I have a sense. I can sense some things through vibrations or through the webs. But this orb exists in that sense. I think I might be able to harness it to better be able to sense. That is my suspicion, anyways.
All right. Would you be all right with sharing the orb between my team and yourself?
Yes, I will report back with my findings as soon as I can. And then they can also use the orb, or if they need it in the meantime, they may come to see me and do it.
All right. Ozzy, I'm going to kind of call him over.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, boss? Is Ozzy a woman or a man?
That's up to you, man.
Fuck. Yeah, he's a dude.
All right. All right. The trip was rather fruitful. A few things that I'd think you'd be interested in. This crystal, Otto is going to be researching it for a little bit, but I'd like your team to have a crack at it as well. So once he's had a bit of time to check out what he wanted to see, I'd like you and the team to also have a little go at it. All right?
Yeah, no way. Well, get right on that as soon
And
as we can.
I'll keep you occupied in the meantime. I'll take out the tuft of magical herb that I had managed to take from the batch that Valeth had gotten us and say, we also have some of this that Valeth gifted us. I believe they would do very well to aid our crops, but with the amount of dense magical property that they tend to have, I don't know, maybe you can find some other use for it as well.
Yeah, I think some experiments could be in order. We'll put that together right away. I think I already have an idea what if we plant this in a square? I wonder what'll happen to whatever we plant in the middle of it.
All right. I trust you will have a lot of fun with that. Let me know what comes of it.
First idea, 50 at least.
Well, I trust you and the team.
Yes. Jeremy! You see a kind of younger kid. Yeah, what's up? He's like, come, take this. He hands him the herb right away. And you see he takes out of, kind of like just like sitting in his belt of his, silk robe, because everybody's basically clothed in this white spider silk now. He takes out like a piece of bark and a little bit of charcoal. You can see he makes some very like quick notes on it.
So clap Otto on the back, leave him with the crystal. All right. Well,
you hand it to him, and as soon as he touches it, you see he goes, "Oh, it's very strong."
Don't get too excited now.
You both are looking at it, and a deep pink glow emanates a little from it. And as Otto's big black eyes look at it, and they become a little pinkish, the both of you see swirling now within the crystal, the dragon crystal, almost like a smoke, almost like a liquid, almost like blood. And it clears up a little bit. And you're looking at yourself and Otto.
But like from what perspective?
It looks like from your like just maybe a little bit above you, perhaps.
So like from like behind us, but like up here kind of thing?
Yeah, just like a little above, like it's very uncanny all of a sudden. And I think both of you in that moment break and look in like the direction of the camera.
Yeah, where it would have been, yeah.
And there's nothing there, and you look back and it lies dormant. But as you start to look back at it again, Otto like has that little shiver and it stirs a little bit. And he says, I think it will be quick. I should have news soon.
Seems so. And this didn't happen when I was holding it.
Did not happen when you were holding it.
Okay. Right.
I mean, do you want to like try and take it back from him and try it yourself? Is there anything?
No, but like I've been holding it for like the trip kind of thing. Like it was my pack. I was holding it. I was bringing it to Ozzy, but none of this happened. I handed it to Otto for like a second, and immediately I had a reaction. So like I figured I would have seen a reaction of myself, I suppose, if there would have been one.
Yeah.
Already. Yeah. Seems like you have an affinity for it, Otto.
Perhaps I do. And as he turns away and takes a step, you notice it glow a little dimmer. And Otto looks at it and looks at you and gives a nod. He seems to have discovered a clue to something as he takes the orb. And you'll see he'll put it into his sleeve and then go off.
All right. I'll go back to the other two, I guess, if they're still at wherever I left them. But if not, that would be it for what I wanted to do.
Well, I think Quinn at that point would probably busy unloading and like talking to a bunch of people and getting those notes out. So a little bit available, a little bit not. Where and what happens to Tomas?
I think initially I'm probably helping unload stuff too. Like we just got back. There's a ton of stuff to carry around, and that's what he's good at. So he'll stick around for a bit. But you said there was other Decafouts there. Are Kalen or Wilga there?
Kalen will eventually, like, if you're unloading a few things, he'll eventually come see you.
Okay.
Wilga, I think, is like busy, probably, transporting stuff like via the web routes, if they have to go anywhere, depending on like what the item is.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the instructions for like the glowing moss were like it needs to be in like a dark and damp place. So I was just like, okay, so bring it up there.
Yeah, so I'll ask him to help carry some stuff around, and Tomas will grab one dragon scale and he'll just like keep it for himself. Yeah, I think when he sees Kalen, he immediately like kind of like it just shows him his third hand.
Yeah, I think Kalen's coming in for like you tell me, how do Decafouts greet each other? Because I think now, at least a year's passed, the Phoenicians have developed a sort of Western, I think, like hug or handshake society.
Mm-hmm.
The Underseers have, I think, been doing a little bit of like the Seraphite, which is you don't touch the other person as much. It's more of a like a bow or like a greeting where you make a motion at somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And the Ottomans like very much have now developed into like a robed nod.
Yeah, for the Decafouts, it's like scoop the other one up before they notice or can react, and so it's just like full physical big hugs, sometimes like some headbutting and just like really rough, and just like as if they're all really familiar with each other.
Absolutely. So Kalen's striding toward you to come in and show the tail, and he just freezes and is like,
yeah, I like maybe put it around his neck and like pull him in like, you're too slow.
Oh, what is Tomas? It
is new.
And he looks at you and full confidence. When do I get one?
Oh,
I'll just have to speak with Quinn about that. I'm sure she can whip something else up for you.
Quinn
Totally forgot where she got it from.
Are you too? And he touches his fingers together.
He's like, what is it? Are you hurt? And he like grabs his fingers.
No, you and never mind.
Listen, Kalen, the next time we race, I think I'll take the victory once and for all.
I have something to admit to you, Tomas.
What?
You've already been winning. I can no longer hide this from you, especially after such a victory. And he gestures not to the scales, not to the claws, but to the large pile of meat sitting in front of you. I've been having caffeinated teas sometimes before we run.
I see. Well, you may continue to drink these teas for as long as you like, because now I have a third hand. It's only fair.
I fear I was to lose. But
most likely.
I will take it upon myself to become stronger through the use of these medicines and herbs. For what you're saying is true, that I too can grow additional appendages that can help me win.
But you will not be alone, brother. Pull him in. I will help you. And not just you. It took all of us to get this kind of victory. And it was hard, Kalen. It was not an easy fight. We all need to get stronger. So tonight, we train. As many Decafouts as you can get.
All of them. I think he fucking just does one of the things that they do on their patrols, which is just like a, oh, hey, and then it's like fucking like 2 Decaphoutes and like nod, and they like go off and they just like start making grunts, and it's just like gathering other Decaphoutes very quickly. Yeah, do you have a place that you want to go to have this gathering of Decaphoutes?
I didn't say it, but I imagine there's probably more of like a, I don't know, Decaphout communal area. Like maybe there's like a zone for each of the tribes kind of to congregate more, or
So I'll say for sure that there's a few things that have been kind of developing in the background, right? So like Otto has that like watering hole spot where he's like been spreading the news. He also has some sort of, as far as the 3 of you know, some sort of secret base in the forest, where he like has his home that no one has seen, and that's where his priests go to commune with him and the Spider God. There's the Phoenicians who have been making more of like this base camp with the Underseers. So they've been integrating a little bit more, I think, like fully, just because of the nature of like both of them being interested in science and stuff like that, and being a little bit more conventional. The Decaphoutes have the same sort of thing, except that there's a bunch of small camps near the zip lines. So basically, like really useful places that they go. And then there's a bunch of small camps around the outskirts of the forest. So there's a lot of like, if they, you want to do races or stuff like that, you can like be like inner near the zip lines and like get around the forest quickly. Or there's a lot of like, if you want to go and like have a sparring session or a mock fight or something, you can go outside the forest and where there's like a wide open area, right? It's like a plain. So where do you think that you would want to go?
Well, I want to take them more in the forest where it's like a little denser, just to like also train amongst like the trees and stuff, because that's probably going to be more indicative of like the type of encounter we'll have with the voidlings. If we fight them in the woods and stuff. So I just want like a space that we can sort of reenact that kind of thing.
Hell yeah. So a bunch of Decaphoutes start getting on zip lines and they start to, swing up. Some of them are doing like the surfing move that Wilga can do. You end up seeing Wilga at one point. She's like transporting people twice as fast as they can go. Probably like some kids and stuff that are a little younger. And they're just like, wow. And the Decaphoutes slowly start to disappear. You can see, I think the last thing you see is you're like leaving the main camp to go here and meet with your tribe's people, is a couple of Decaphoutes basically talking to like 2 Underseers and a Phoenician, and they're like dictating like, build the fire this big and use these stones, and we need like a huge spit to roast the dragon meat, and they're like just leaving them some instructions for the meat, and then the Underseers are like, oh yeah, we get it, we're gonna do the science, blah blah blah, and they're like, no, but like also you're gonna have to serve like all 400 of us when we show back up. They're like, what? And then they just go
like, please and thank you, bye. Amazing.
Right. So you come to a small glade in the forest, a sort of like not huge, but like, a nexus of a few of the different zip lines. A lot of your tribe's people now gathered here. Maybe you in the center of this ring of people. There's Decaphoutes like in the trees, up in the tree branches, scattered amongst a bunch of like loose rocks and stuff. You can tell that like in a rainy season, or if there was a big like rainstorm or something like that, this would be maybe like a bend in a river, right? It's like very rocky, but because it's like dry, that means that it's, you can be in the center here and have people sitting at like almost like a Colosseum style. So they like go up like in the rocks and stuff and then into the trees. So everyone has a fairly good view of you. And it's a little bit dark, kind of the sunlight pouring into like this spot where you stand in the middle.
Yeah. Decaphoutes, prepare yourselves. All of you here, arm yourselves with weapons if you can find any. Myself, Wilga, I like give her a look. Kalen, I look at him. We will be your voidlings. Get in groups, 8 or 10, it does not matter. And we will come for you. You have 20 minutes. Go!
They start to disperse. They're going in the trees. You see that like some of the decaphoutes will be like 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3. And then they start to count down to 20 minutes as they go. Or 1 decaphout, 2 decaphout, 3 decaphout.
Yeah.
It's a much better way to keep time. Right? They go off. Wilga, Kaelin come up. Wilga is looking beefy. She's been working out.
Oh, shit.
And Kaelin is looking. He looks normal as well, but you see that he takes a steaming cup of tea.
It's like shaking a little bit.
Yeah, he's like, I'm ready.
Do not hold back. Those creatures didn't. But obviously don't kill any of them. Just throw them to the ground. They must be
Wilga's like, what creatures?
like bugs, but much bigger.
Did they use weapons?
Their weapons were their arms. I think I'm gonna maybe touch her shoulder or something and just give her like an emotional sense of like the fight like we had. I had used my like emotional frenzy during that fight. I think I called upon Zell's emotions a lot during that because he was like very frustrated at the situation. So I'm just like, that frustration is what these creatures are basically, is like the message I'm imparting to her. And just like that, make them feel like that. And then like turn, and I have my spear, but I'll like flip it the other way around so the blunt end is like at the tip. Together. And then I'll like kind of look out. I see maybe there's like a group that's a little bit slower at getting into position, finding a group, and then I'll like rush in, and the other two will like follow me in, and we'll go.
Yeah, Kayla's just like
these kids.
chugs, tosses the mug into the air, and you realize like it's a kind of like a nice mug.
Okay.
And as it gets tossed in the air and he follows you, I think you're perceptive enough that you don't hear it hit the ground. Do you look back?
Yeah, I think I do. That's a little bit strange. I would expect for there to be sound. So,
and you take a quick glance, and you see it hanging by a strand of spider silk. And you see, give me 1 second. I forgot her name.
Not the Black Mother.
No.
Okay.
That'd be spooky.
The
Isandria
one?
Yes.
Isandria.
Okay.
Yeah.
Isandria?
The right hand.
Oh, yeah, the one who lost her hand.
The one who lost her hand. And you see her up in the tree. And she had kind of just like did a quick silk thing, and you see her shake her head because the person that she made tea for almost broke their good mug.
Come on, Kaelin. Thomas doesn't catch that part. He just notices that she's there. Keeps going.
All right. Yeah, I think the first fucking group of decaphoutes that were too slow to get away, you guys annihilate them. Like into the mud. She's like, ah! Like Wilga's surfing on a person.
Yeah.
They like get hit into a bush. She like flings forward. You just hear someone's like, Wilga's coming!
Yeah, I imagine she's like way bigger than Tomas and Kaelin too. Like she's just like an absolute monster.
Yeah, she's just becoming so huge. She's got this deep voice.
Oh yes. As she's surfing, like slab squatting while like slapping the dude's butt.
Get stronger.
That's my Wilga.
Wonderful. So as all that happens, I think Quinn, we're going to jump over to you and your preparations. What is Quinn doing before we go off to a little break?
Yeah, one, I'm gonna actually take May to the side and I'm gonna ask her, May, now that you hold the knowledge of such a powerful technique, I think you need to share it to the rest of the people. Would you like to be their sensei?
You like the stars in her eyes as
Mhm.
she looks up at you, and she just like solemnly nods.
And the reason why I'm asking you is because you know our people, they're not exactly the beefiest or the most physically adept, but I think with techniques like yours, they have a chance at survival more than before. If everything's come down.
That's right. Because if we're smart, we can move better.
Exactly. So can I entrust this to you?
Yes.
All right.
There is one thing.
Mm.
I think if we do this, I think we're going to need to trade with that guy that you don't want to trade with.
All right. Walk me through it. Walk me through it. What are you thinking?
And she like takes a stick and she like draws your people and draws you, and you're like way bigger than the other people.
Accurate depiction.
But she like draws like the little like booties on you, and she's like, so you have these, and then they make you go fast, and then you also have that, and she draws the bubble of your helmet, which lets you breathe in places where people can't breathe, and you have and she draws like a little like circle, and she's like, that's mentor, and like mentor comes out, and he's like, what? It looks
Hey,
nothing like me.
She's trying her best, and I shoe mentor.
And Amay's like, I think if we're going to teach people this stuff and they're not that strong, but they are smart, they might need things that we don't have access to right now to help up their abilities, especially versus like those bugs that we fought were crazy strong. Not as strong as the dragon, but if any of them are even close to that, it's going to take like 100 people, and a lot of them are going to die just to take down one bug. And so then she starts drawing like little stuff on each of like those little stick figures that she drew. And she's like, well, what if this person had your skates, and like this person was able to breathe, or like this person, and she like had a grappling hook and draws a grappling hook. Like, I think we need things that we're able to utilize. But we don't have access to any of that right now.
That's true. I was hoping that we could kind of get through it without their help. I'm also thinking after we deal with the voidlings, I do want our people to focus on the concept of home. Maybe home is not necessarily here, maybe it's someplace out there, outside this island, but we need to find home or make it.
You can see like she touches the D-pad on her wrist now. I think you're right. I just think you're really strong, and I think I didn't know how strong you were until I had even a fraction of that strength. And now our people are going to need something like that too. Something that helps them keep up.
You're right. Sorry, I have a cat that's trying to walk over my surface, over my laptop. I think I'll discuss with the others. Maybe I was a little bit harsh to judge. Maybe things have changed in the time that we lost.
Yeah, I think she just cocks her head at you because she doesn't know any of the history. She doesn't know what you're talking about.
I don't elaborate more, even though I see her interest. I kind of like keep mumbling to myself a little, and then I get up determined. Okay, I'll talk with them.
Okay.
And I go off.
Yeah. And I think as you start to go off, you see like Mentor's here, and he's like, "Are you sure that's a good idea? Like, I don't think it's not a good idea, but we have to be careful, I think, in what we our dealings with the Underworlders."
Mentor is talking to me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I know, it's been a year already. I think the people are getting restless over maybe not feeling like they can contribute as much as they wish they could. And again, what if they won't try and hunt me down? Can I be hopeful about that?
Well, maybe we just don't show them that we have D-pads.
That's one place to start.
And you see him like touch his chin. He goes, And I think that we do still have the unlikely ally, the Black Widow.
Yeah. Well, she wants a security that for now I can't provide in a way by just keeping quiet. But then that means, regardless, we have to make deals, and I hate making deals. Just because I'm so uncertain of what I'm sacrificing.
Well, I think you've already sacrificed a lot. So much has changed since Seraph Station. The whole mission is out of whack. And now I don't know what I'm supposed to do either. And you see he has one of those like little glitch moments. It's like he tries to tap into and think about whatever is, behind that, beyond the wall.
Soon, after the voidlings are gone, I think we'll be able to find out more.
Yeah.
But we need to deal with them.
All right. Let's do it. And he kind of points you in the direction, or starts to walk in the direction in the air.
GPS instantly.
Yeah. Dink, over towards where Wilm's hut is, because he is the last one, I believe, to have had the bell.
Well, but I do want to get Tomas in it too. I want it to be once again like a team decision. Even though we don't have our spider friend.
All right. As you go forward to find the two other progenitors and potentially make this decision, we're going to go on a break. So see you all next time. I'm Brent, the DM, and I'm here with the tough Tomas, the fiery Wilm, and the intergalactic Quinn T. And we'll be right back. Ciao, ciao.
Bye.
Bye.